The nervous system is divided into categories based on both function and structure. Think about how we did this in Chapter 9 with joints. We went through all the joints and classified them by their structure, then we classified them by their function. So we're going to do the same thing with the nervous system. Over here is structure, and this side is function. For structure, we have two. There is the CNS, which is central nervous system. This is the brain and spine. The central nervous system receives information, makes decisions, and gives commands. Then we also have the PNS, which stands for peripheral nervous system. This is all the nerves out in your body. They connect the CNS to your body parts. And nerves have structures on them called ganglia. Ganglia are swollen areas of nerves, kind of like a little knob on the nerve, where cell bodies are housed. And in the next section, we'll look at the parts of a nerve and you'll see what a cell body is. Then if we go to function, function has two main parts and then each of those has a subpart. First is sensory. Sensory is information that goes to the CNS, and it goes from a receptor. So sensory is information from a receptor to the CNS. The other side is motor. Motor is commands from the CNS to an effector. Effector means the body part that you're giving the command to. Okay, think of sensory and motor like a divided highway. In a highway, you have northbound lanes and you have southbound lanes. Sensory is always going to be moving toward the CNS. So it's like your northbound lanes. Motor is always moving away from the CNS. So it is like your southbound lanes. Each of these is divided into two parts. Sensory has somatic and visceral. Okay, somatic is the stuff that you know you know. It is conscious. You have conscious awareness. Visceral is subconscious. It's the stuff you don't know you know. Okay, for example, the stuff you know would be like seeing. You know what you see. Hearing, you can tell me what you hear. Smell, taste, and touch. Those are all things you are consciously aware of. Subconscious would be, for example, what's your blood pressure right now? There is a part of your brain that knows what your blood pressure is right now, but it's a subconscious part of your brain. So you know it, but you don't realize you know it. Another example would be how much glucose is in your blood right now. If you wanted to consciously know this, you would have to get a glucose meter and prick your finger and get some blood and have it tested that way. But the subconscious parts of your brain already know how much glucose you have. So visceral kind of falls into two categories. Composition of your blood, right? Like the osmolarity, the pH, temperature, and information from your organs. So like your liver is talking to your brain right now. You just don't consciously know it. Then with motor, it also has somatic, and the other division is autonomic. Somatic is voluntary. You get to consciously choose what you do with somatic. Autonomic is involuntary. It happens whether you like it or not. There's only one effector in your whole body that is voluntary, and that is skeletal muscle. Involuntary, or autonomic, has three types of effectors. As you can see in the picture there, the heart, so cardiac muscle. And to put a little note here with cardiac muscle, your brain doesn't tell your heart to beat. It beats on its own, but your brain can tell your heart to go faster or slower. Smooth muscle. Examples of smooth muscle include your blood vessels and your digestive system. So when your blood vessels dilate or constrict, depending on your temperature, you don't consciously do that. It happens automatically. Or after you eat lunch, you don't have to consciously sit there and digest your lunch. That's all autonomic. And the third effector is glands. Think about when you sweat. You don't choose to sweat, it just happens. Or salivary glands, when your mouth waters. Those are all autonomic activities. So there are the divisions, the classification of the nervous system.